Hereditary.
Which is a musical.
Yeah. Revenge. Searching, which I saw recently and really, really liked.
Thank you.
Yeah, and that got dismissed in a lot of people's lists.
Thank you. Yes.
Suspiria, Upgrade, A Quiet Place, The Little Stranger. The Strangers Pray at Night, which a lot of people dismissed as well. Thoroughbreds.
Which I haven't seen.
You can. It's on Amazon Prime. If you have Prime. Unsane, which I liked.
I haven't seen that one either.
Annihilation, Venom.
Venom?
Halloween.
What?
Yeah.
How does...
Ghost Stories. A Simple Favor, which I want to see too, but that's more of like a thriller. Bad Times at the El Royale.
El Royale. That was a fucking great movie.
The Girl in the Spider's Web. Mom and Dad. The House with the Clock in Its Walls. So that was they had some good ones, I feel. A lot of people.
House and the Clock in Its Walls is a really good movie.
It looks good for kids. Like if I was a little kid, I haven't seen it, but I would really want to see it.
Honestly, that movie gets kind of dark.
And isn't Agent Cooper the bad guy?
Yeah.
Yes, I love him.
Yeah, he's pretty fucking awesome in it.
And it's Eli Roth, right?
Yeah, it's Eli Roth. And I think this is one of his best movies.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
And that's not saying much.
Is that like...
I'm kidding.
Is that like a good time for like around Halloween to watch it, you think?
Yeah. It doesn't take place around Halloween, but it does feel like a really good Halloween movie.
Was it better than Goosebumps 2?
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, by far. I think I saw that before Goosebumps 2. Oh, and okay. I like Goosebumps 2, but I like The House with the Clocks in its Walls because it knew what it wanted to be.
Yeah.
And it didn't rip off the ending to like every other ending.
Right.
Didn't involve a tower turning people into fucking creatures and shit like that.
Did you see Goosebumps 1 yet or no?
Yeah, I saw Goosebumps 1. We talked about this on our Thanksgiving episode.
But I thought you didn't see that one yet.
No, I did see it. I said I prefer part 2 over the first one.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Okay.
I think part 2 is a stronger movie.
Okay.
All right, so let's let's see. Okay, you're gonna add anything else? You're not adding anything else?
What do you mean about
like on the list?
Well, we could talk about the other people's lists, but we should do because I really researched like TV. I feel like I watched more TV horror this year than going to the movies.
Yeah.
So if you want to you could talk about movies and then I could talk about TV.
All right.
But I'll chip in to the movies as well and give my input.
All right. But I don't need your input though.
Wow. That's how it's gonna be, huh?
Boom. I couldn't let you slide.
Wow.
All right. I am your host, the Boogeyman, Johnny Zuko, along with my co-host,
Elysa Ginger Snap, who's shut out again once again.
You kind of walked into that one.
Yeah, I kind of did. Well, it's winter solstice today. Give me a break.
All right.
Give me a break.
So this is our last show of the year.
Yes.
How do you feel? How do you feel about that?
I feel like this year went really fast.
Yeah.
Like, what Christmas is next? So today, as we're recording this, it's winter solstice in California, and Christmas is next week. And I just feel like I don't know.
Like next Tuesday. We're recording this on a Friday.
Yeah.
And this will go up Tuesday morning. So Merry Christmas, everyone.
Merry Christmas and Happy New Year, I guess. Right?
Yeah. Happy New Year. We will be back
next year.
Next year, January 8th, with a brand new episode. We're gonna take a couple weeks off for the holidays and kind of cleanse ourselves from the horror for a little bit. You know what I mean? So there's a lot to digest here.
Yeah, this was a big year. I feel a lot, even in the world, a lot of crazy shit happened. But I feel like a lot happened in the horror world this year. Yeah,
this year saw a lot of revisionist history.
Yeah,
if you will. And some big icons making their returns to the silver screen, which is pretty awesome. But before we get into that, how do you feel about the show so far? How do you feel like we're doing so far? Like,
I think
what's the one thing that we can improve on?
That's a good question. Like, I was trying to think. I think our goal here is to actually eventually film, and I think once we do that, that'll get a lot of people to watch as well. But I think, like, I don't know, my goal for next year is to try and get more people. And then I know you and I were talking how we would like to get like a guest on the show every now and then. Maybe not like every time we do it, but every now and then, just to get their input. So I feel like those are the goals I'm trying to like aim for. But I think we've had some good content so far. I think we've discussed things that some other podcasts haven't discussed, you know.
Yeah. And we have different takes on the different outlooks on every movie.
Right.
So,
like we're not the same every time.
Yeah.
So it gives good
sometimes we'll shit on a movie, sometimes we'll praise it, sometimes we'll champion it. You know, you just never know with us.
You just never. But hey, stay tuned because that's the fun part.
Yeah.
What about you? What are your goals, or what do you feel?
You know, I feel like the show's going good. You know, I just got to work on the technical aspect. You know, just trying to work on the volume, get these out a little bit quicker. My internet sucks as of late, so it's been lagging. That's why the episode's been going up Wednesdays instead of Tuesdays. Yeah. But I'm trying to get better at that. Also, next year I would like to, again, to your point, have guests. And I feel like by having guests and maybe a panel onto the show, I think that would help, you know, revitalize the show and just make it feel different each time instead of the same.
Exactly.
You know, so
spice it up a little.
Yeah, and I totally agree. I think that's somewhere that we're aiming for, and we are aiming to film. We just need to find the spot.
Yeah, and cameras and everything.
And so, 2018 is an interesting year for horror because it did not start off well.
No.
It did not start off well.
And I feel it's like kind of the whole Oscars thing. I feel like a lot of horror movies that came out early in the year really got dismissed. I mean, we'll talk about that, and then I was even going through, I was like looking online, like what movies came out this year? And I was like, I forgot that came out. I forgot that one came out. So it kind of like just slips your mind on, you know. Because
if you really think about it, toward the later end of the year, you got hit with some pretty heavy hitters.
Yeah. Summer to like fall, a lot of a lot of content.
I mean, whether you agree or not, but A Quiet Place kind of started it off, and then with Hereditary getting so much buzz out of Sundance, and then when it released in June, everyone was like, "Holy shit!"
Yeah.
You know, I don't know if that's the scariest movie that ever made. Nothing would ever beat The Exorcist. Yeah. But I will say that was the most intense experience at a movie that I've had in a very long time, seeing Hereditary.
That one really, you know when a movie's good or it has made an impact when you keep thinking about it, or how you don't know how you feel after you've seen it. Yeah. And that is what happened when I saw Hereditary.
Did you see that in the theater?
I saw it in the theater. I really wanted to because I love Toni Collette, and I just thought, okay, what is this? Because the trailer doesn't really tell you what the movie's about.
Everyone thought the movie was about possession.
And it thought the little girl, I'm not trying to give spoilers, but I thought the little girl was like a main character in it. No. Nope. So this movie...
For real.
This movie really like threw an axe at you. And it left an impact on me, and I thought the acting was amazing. And yeah, I'm curious to see, because I know the director wants to do kind of like it's not going to have the same cast, I think, but he kind of wants to do another follow-up. Yeah. So I'm really excited for that.
And, you know, this whole topic really got spurred by a Vogue hit piece written by Tyler Antrim, right?
I think that's how you pronounce it, yeah.
And he's basically saying that, do you remember when horror was good?
Yeah, so he wrote the article for Vogue called, "Wasn't This Supposed to Be the Golden Age of Horror?" And he wrote this in November. So, mind you... a lot of movies came out before November.
Which he takes out a lot of movies to fit his narrative. He takes out Quiet Place, Suspiria, Hereditary by calling them thrillers and not horror movies. Yeah. You know, and he even tries to take out Suspiria. You know, his whole argument is that, like, with Split and It and Get Out.
Yeah, he praises Get Out.
And Super Dark Times. Mm-hmm. You know, those are, you know, despite our personal feelings about those, yes, those movies were big, but, you know, I posted on our Instagram page too, and I said, you know what? This was a really good year. You can say that it wasn't, but it was really a good year for horror.
I agree with you, actually. Like,
you know, because there were some really good movies. And despite our personal feelings about The Meg and Halloween and The Predator, those movies made money.
They made money, and the thing is, because I was looking back, just reflecting... was there a horror theme of the year? And I was like, no, there's not. It was such a diverse year for horror.
Yeah.
Where I feel like last year...
There was something for everyone.
Right. I feel like last year, especially 2016, 2017, I feel like there was such a clown theme, right? Because you had you had American Horror Story, Clown, Cult, or whatever that one was called. So I feel like there was such a theme, but this year it was so diverse.
You had monsters.
You had monsters, you had possession, you had serial killers.
Slashers.
Yeah. And Witches, yeah. Witches I feel like were kind of big this year, actually, now that I'm looking back on it.
Yeah, 2 big hits.
And then American Horror Story had Witches again.
Oh, yeah, that too.
They brought back Coven,
and Sabrina.
Yeah. And Sabrina, which I loved. But, yeah, so I just feel like this year it had so much content. You had so many options. You weren't bored. You could, like you said, there was something for everyone. You could find something for you. You
know, this might not have been like, you know, because last year, I remember everyone last year was hyping up like all the movies because it was like there were like big fucking movies with big properties. Yeah, it was the major one, and so was Get Out.
Yeah,
and then there was another movie too. It wasn't Split, but there was another movie in between them that was like, oh, you know, it wasn't that great, but
let me see if I can.
It made a lot of money, and the point is that when you have the horror movies being released in the theaters, the main objective is to make money.
Right.
You know, if they don't get a box office return, it's considered a failure, whether we show up to it or not.
Yeah.
But if you really look at it with a microscope, the independent scene had a great fucking year with a lot of great content.
And it was so art house, a lot of them too. Like just great, phenomenal. Of course, they're not going to get nominated for anything, but really like gut-wrenching performances, I feel. You
know, Hereditary wasn't supposed to be a wide release.
Yeah.
But all the buzz it got out of Sundance, it became a wide release.
Yeah. And I'm so glad it did.
And because, you know, everyone saw that movie and they're like, holy shit, this is... Like, what is this?
Yeah.
You know?
I think it kind of knocked everyone on their ass, you know?
Yeah.
Like, people just weren't expecting that. And it wasn't violent. That was the great thing. Like, a horror film doesn't have to be super violent to be scary. And I feel like that was Hereditary.
Well, the thing with Hereditary is that, like, the horror is really grounded in the realism, and it's really tied up in the family dynamic.
Yeah, it's like a family drama.
And it deals with the, you know, the death of a loved one in such a fascinating way, and it shows how that can impact every single one of them.
For sure.
And
I feel like that's a film, if you have recently lost someone, don't watch it, because you'll kind of like...
Yeah, because each of them are going through different stages of grief.
Yeah.
You know? And then once they get hit again,
yeah,
it's like it goes to another level.
Right. Was it Happy Death Day you were thinking of 2017? Or Alien Covenant?
It was Covenant, I think it was.
Okay.
No, Happy Death Day came out last year?
It says 2017, yeah.
Really?
Mm-hmm. I always feel like it was early this year.
I felt like that was 2 years ago.
It says 2017. No, it was 2017 because my friend who I saw it with was still living here.
Huh.
So yeah, it was 2017.
Well, that might be it then. That might be it. But, damn, I lost my train of thought.
Sorry. Hereditary, losing someone, everyone kind of had their own perspective.
Yeah, and so I think that's what really resonated with people. Mm-hmm. You know, Annihilation came out. Annihilation came out in February, and again, that kind of divided audiences because I think that's what it was, is that people didn't quite get the ending. But that's a movie that forces you to think, that makes you think about what you just saw and makes you analyze everything.
Did that have a theater run though?
Yeah, that had a theater.
I feel like that kind of got dismissed. Like
it did get dismissed too because it opened up, I think, around Valentine's Day.
Oh, okay.
And so that kind of hurt its release. Yeah. And on top of that, it was a wider release. If that movie was limited, I guarantee it probably would have been a much better run for them.
I feel like movies that come out in horror movies January, February aren't good times. Like The Strangers 2 was March, I think, right? Or February. But that got dismissed. And I thought that was a decent... I'm not saying it was better than the first one, because the first one was like my favorite film, but it was a decent sequel. And did you see it yet?
No.
Not yet.
I'm trying to think. Was it March?
Let me see. I know it was early. Yeah, it had to have been March, because...
Because I felt like when we were doing the show, you had recently saw it.
We didn't know each other yet. March 9th.
Oh, March 9th. Okay.
Yeah.
No, because because when we first started, you had mentioned it. That you saw it, and so I took it as you just recently saw it. And that's what it was.
Okay.
I do think that this year was a really good year, though.
I do too.
I really do think. I mean, you had movies like Blew My Mind, which was a body horror. Everyone seems to love Cam, and so I roll.
I roll.
But everyone, I mean, you can say what you want about that, but that woman fucking gave a bare performance though.
No,
Madeline Brewer.
I like her. She's a really good actress.
She fucking laid it all out there.
She was
really good. There was another one, Low Life, Thoroughbreds, Annihilation. I wrote all these motherfucking things down and I just don't know where my list is.
That's all right. Well, what were your like top 3 favorite? Did you have like a top 3?
Oh yeah, that's what it was. It was Terrifier.
Oh, okay.
Terrifier did come out.
That was such a good slasher.
It was a good slasher because it was old school. Even though that was filmed 2 years ago and released last year.
Yeah, it didn't get released till...
It didn't get an actual DVD release till this year.
Yeah.
I thought that was a really good one.
And
you know what? That fucking birthed a new icon.
Yeah, I want more Art the Clown.
Yeah, and hopefully we might get that.
I hope so. That was like,
if we go to the Creature Con this year, if we go, we need to ask him. Hey, is he coming back or not?
I know. That was such a good like classic slasher. But
my second one would be Assassination Nation.
I still have yet to see that as well.
That fucking movie is just fucking bonkers. Like, this is a movie that I've always been trying to get people to watch. When people say, what movie would you recommend I see this year? That movie, Assassination Nation.
Is it coming to rent? Like,
it's already out.
Oh, it's out?
Yeah.
Because that only went into theaters for like a day.
No, it was out for 3 weeks and it only made $4 million on a $34 million budget.
That sucks.
Yeah. Really no one showed up. Me and my lady, we went to go see it on a Thursday night. And no one was there.
Are you kidding? You had like the whole theater to yourself?
We had like maybe 2 other people, like an older couple sitting 2 rows. And we were just like, this is weird, because normally we would go around that time on a Thursday. And
it'd be like packed, right?
There would, not packed, but there would be a decent amount of people.
You would think that would have had more people because Skarsgård, Bill Skarsgård.
Well, he wasn't really...
But it made him really famous. And then Castle Rock. So you think like,
I think people avoided it because it hit a little too close to home. Because of, data breaching and people like sharing your personal information and stuff like that. And, what would happen if like a small community that pretty much knows each other just went insane. It's like, holy shit.
And that can happen.
Yeah. And I really do think that was one. And then Thoroughbreds.
I want to see that as well. I like those actresses.
That ending just kind of left like, whoa.
Yeah.
That was a really good movie. I honestly feel like movies had a really good year this year. There wasn't even Halloween.
So Halloween was like the major horror film of the year, I feel, because Laurie's back. People have been waiting for this. It was so amped up. I was amped up, but then at the same time. So the only thing I will agree with this Vogue article is how he didn't love it. And I didn't love... And everyone knows like There's No Halloween's like my favorite movie, and I'm such a big Michael Myers fan. I didn't love this one. I feel like we already got that with H2O. And we did an episode on this, so you can go back and listen to my thoughts on it. But I will agree with him, like Halloween wasn't that great. But I love that it was so successful and it has such a huge following, and they're gonna make more probably. So I do love
they're definitely gonna make more.
I do love that it did so well. Like, I am happy. Even though I didn't love it, I am happy that it did well. I will say that.
And then The Predator came out.
The Predator, the Meg. I was waiting for the Meg. Not a great movie, but a fun popcorn movie.
Yeah, but it also made money though.
It made
and we're getting the
money.
Meg 2.
Yeah.
We're getting Meg 2.
Yeah.
Let's go, man.
So we had 2 good like
so there
popcorn sci-fi horror movies, you know.
So there were movies out there that actually made money.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And A Quiet Place. You know
that
what I mean?
was really successful.
You know, that was one that came out in April, and it was just no one thought that movie would work.
I know.
And it became the #1 movie for like 3 weeks.
Yeah. And then you had The Purge, which came out in summer. The first Purge.
The first Purge, yeah.
Eh.
But the series, though, was much fucking better.
So we'll get into the TV. But...
I highly recommend the series.
And that was on USA Network.
Yeah.
Then you had like a couple sleepers like Slenderman, which had so many rights, studio issues. I saw it. It wasn't horrible like everybody said.
So this motherfucker says he saw Slenderman, Winchester, and The Nun.
Yeah. Those are
not good fucking movies.
Yeah.
To base your fucking argument on.
I want to see Winchester because I love the Winchester Mystery House, but I heard it was so like my mom saw it and she's like she knows like all the history of Winchester. She said it was horrible.
It's a terrible movie.
And that came out what like February, January.
You remember the ghost in that ending of the house on the God damn it, what is it? The House on Haunted Hill.
The
Jeffrey
remake
Price,
one?
yeah, the remake. You know that black, the big cloud, the black ghost.
Yes,
that comes out. Mm-hmm. There's actually a fucking sequence with that.
What?
Yeah. She's actually being chased by demons, which is crazy. If the movie had focused on like, you know, her mental illness and made it seem like she was schizophrenic.
Right.
And it was all in her head and the doctor that was there trying to like bring her back. Mm-hmm. That's why he was there. I felt like
that would have been better.
That would have been a much better story.
But they made it so paranormal.
Yeah, they made it so paranormal where it was like, come on, dude, how are you going to do that?
That sucks. Yeah, I bombed. It didn't do that well.
Yeah, that came out
like
in
January, February?
March.
Oh, I thought it was earlier than that. So that one was like a sleeper. I'm trying to like look on here in my little list. Oh yeah, Insidious: The Last Key. I didn't even see that one.
That was bad. That was bad.
People didn't care for that.
That was bad. That was really bad. I mean, like I said, you know, the year did not start off promising.
Right. It got better. So recent films that I've seen that I freaking loved. The Clove Hitch Killer. Really, 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 really liked that one. You can rent that on Amazon Prime. What a performance. That was a great movie. Very similar to Summer of '84, but better.
I feel
a lot better.
A lot of people are championing that movie.
Yeah, he's just great in it. He's so like, I don't know, like he's hilarious though. Like when he's trying to kill and he's got like back pain. I don't know. Like I was laughing, but so that was great. Another movie not a lot of people know about. It's called He's Out There. It's like a home invasion movie. Really liked that one. The mask was super creepy. That one I recommend. Let's see what else is on here. Slice, I don't really recommend. Did you see that?
No, I haven't seen that yet.
It's funny. Like, it's super funny, but it, like, kind of, like, lost me after halfway.
Oh, did it?
Because I liked where it was going, but then once Chance the Rapper acts, because you don't really see him for, like, a big chunk of the movie until a little... His acting isn't that great. But, yeah, so that one I didn't care for. What else? Like Summer of '84, I thought was okay. It wasn't amazing, but I thought it was okay. Hellfest, that one wasn't that great. Such a great like premise.
Such a great idea. Yeah. But you know, I think had people have gone to go see that movie, we probably would have gotten more Hellfest, and I think the sequel probably could have improved on certain things.
For sure.
Like we talked about this on like in our October episode. Mm-hmm. And we were like, you know what? If we were younger and teenagers or like in our early 20s, we probably would have liked this movie.
A lot more.
Because it was just like, go, go, go. You know what I mean? It never stopped.
And it is a cool mask. There were some cool kills. Not enough kills, but I do feel like the rides were cool. The mask was cool, but it just kind of like the humor lost me.
The ending, jokes. Too, it just didn't have the impact that it wanted to.
For sure.
You know what? I honestly think that movie would have been much better had they focused on the killer's perspective.
Yeah, I agree.
And then that way, when that ending hits, you're like, fuck.
You're like, whoa.
That's a good twist.
It needed to have that punch of an ending. And
it kind of ended on a whimper, you know?
Yeah. Another one I liked was Unsane. That was a fun one. It wasn't like perfect, but it did have cool moments, and the way it was shot was very different. I think it was shot on a cell phone.
Yeah, on an iPhone 7 or 8.
Okay, here's one. It's not technically horror. Here's one. Everybody shat on this film, and I recently saw it, and I was cracking up and didn't think it was that bad.
Which
Do you have a guess?
Which is?
Venom.
Okay, so...
I didn't think it was terrible like everybody said. I thought it was hilarious.
Did I say this was terrible?
No, but you were saying how everyone gave it such a hard time. Yes, there was 30 minutes cut out. I do wish it was more violent because... I could tell, watching it, okay, that was probably cut there. That was probably edited.
So you see my argument.
Yeah.
So you see my argument there.
I see that, and hopefully they will release that bit. Besides that, I didn't think it was that terrible.
I didn't think it was bad either.
Yeah.
Okay, so I saw Aquaman last night.
Oh, that doesn't look good, but...
My lady's all, thank you for not taking me.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And so me and my friends, we all went to go see Aquaman, and... by the end of the movie, we were just cracking up because it's like, oh my god, this is bad. It was pretty bad.
Really?
They ripped off all kinds of movies.
I heard that.
Like The Little Mermaid, Waterworld, Pinocchio.
Oh, man.
The whole ending battle was like Avatar meets Black Panther.
Wow.
The music was like kind of Tron-esque, and it's like, what the fuck?
So it wasn't good.
I mean, we both had a good time with it, but when we walked out of the theater, it's like, nah, dude, I can't.
Do you think if you were like a little kid, you would have liked it more?
No, because as a little kid, I don't know much about Aquaman, and the only Aquaman I know is Vinny Chase. That's an Entourage reference, by the way.
Yeah, no, I know that reference.
But I don't know. I don't think I would have liked this as a little kid either.
See,
I even told my friend, is like, you know what? I'd prefer Venom over this.
And if
Venom wasn't even that much of a bad movie.
Right. If I was a little boy, I would have loved the shit out of Venom. Like, I liked it now and I enjoyed it because the jokes were hilarious. Tom Hardy was, funny.
Really good.
Yeah. And I would have this is so freaking hilarious. And it had, good moments. I do wish, it was more violent. But I read an article and someone was so freaking mean about his performance. They're like, Tom Hardy in Venom, he looks bloated, he should play the future Harvey Weinstein. I'm like, what the that
he looks bloated.
That is some harsh shit to say. Tom Hardy, for one, is so freaking hot. For someone to say he should play the future Harvey Weinstein,
that's fucked up.
Yeah,
that's fucked.
It's fucked up. So all those who shat on Venom, I don't agree with you. I'm sorry.
Even with Tom McFarlane, who created Spawn, he was all like, you know what? You guys just don't get it. The critics were just old, and they just didn't understand what it is.
Right.
I honestly liked Venom. I thought it was a good movie. It's an average movie, yes, but I had a much fucking better time with that than Aquaman. Dang. And I think that was probably one of the better movies that I've seen.
Yeah.
And Tom Hardy was not fat or out of shape.
No.
He was bulked.
Yeah.
I mean, not bulked like he was in Bane, but he was bulk enough.
He was thick.
Yeah.
But not bloated and what the hell is that? I don't agree with that.
Yeah, I don't agree with that either. Yeah. I really do like Venom, and that is a fun movie.
Yeah.
I highly recommend that.
The jokes, Venom was hilarious. The jokes he was saying, what was the part where he wanted to jump, but then Tom Hardy took the stairs, and he's he says the P word.
He's like, you pussy.
Yeah. I was cracking up. But yeah, so I actually enjoyed Venom. And then there's a lot of movies for kids this year, like A House with a Clock in Its Walls, which you really liked.
I really liked that, and that was a dark movie for being a kids movie. It dealt with a lot of mature themes, and there's a Holocaust survivor.
Oh wow!
In there, but the way they reveal it is just so heartbreaking.
Really?
Yeah. It I teared up. I was like, oh my god.
But they had funny moments, right? Because Jack Black.
Oh yeah, they had funny moments, but there's this whole subplot. I won't spoil it, but there's a subplot that deals with it, and then the actual reveal happens. But the kid doesn't know.
Aww.
But he doesn't know because he's 5, he's 6. He doesn't know about that world. But when the camera shows it, it's that's heartbreaking. It's oh shit, that's terrible.
Aww. But that one was really popular. Goosebumps 2 actually did really well, I think, right?
Yeah, hopefully they do a third one. Honestly, they need to do a third one to fix that ending.
Yeah.
So
I haven't seen that one, but that's like that is on my list. Was that it for kids and horror this year? I feel like there was a lot of television, but I'll get into that. Okay. These next two movies I'm going to discuss, not even just for the year, but like movies I've seen in a long ass time that I freaking loved. Mandy. That's like, come on. That movie was so freaking beautiful. Has classic Nicolas Cage, crazy acting. The story itself is really cool, and I do hope like it gets a sequel. I know recently like the director was like, yeah,
Pano said that he had like a really cool idea
for Nazi punks or something.
Yeah, and so
yeah. I mean, this movie was great. The acting is, if you like weird, beautiful looking horror movies with a little humor, this is like one of the best ones I've seen.
It's funny because I said that this is like Pink Floyd's The Wall had sex with Death Wish, and this was the demon spawn that came out of it.
Because this is technically like a revenge movie.
No, it's a straight revenge movie,
but it has like a cult vibe and like psychedelic, just like crazy.
I honestly say like this is. I said there were two divisive movies when I should have said there were three, because Mandy, The House That Jack Built,
which was my second,
and Suspiria were fucking completely divisive among critics and fans alike.
Oh yeah,
they either hated it or they loved it.
Yeah.
Now, Mandy was such a different kind of ride, but if you can get past that first 30 minutes where it's just all slow,
it's a slow burner.
Kind of like, pretentious, kind of just by what it's edited and shot.
Yeah.
If you can get past that, you will be rewarded.
Oh yeah,
you will be rewarded. Yeah. As soon as the bikers show up,
and that's when shit happens, and it's a very like Hellraiser kind of look and vibe too.
I guarantee you, if like those same people that like can get past those 30 minutes.
Yeah.
I guarantee if you start the movie with Nicolas Cage in the fucking bathroom in his underwear
with vodka or alcohol,
hulking the fuck out, like,
that was the best. Yeah,
I guarantee you they'd be sold.
Yeah, I know. And there's not another thing I liked about it too is there's not a lot of dialogue.
Not
a lot and there's a lot of like the next one I'll talk about is very wordy, but I loved it. Yeah, so if you're not into a lot of dialogue but visual shit, Mandy's for you. One of the best films I've seen in a long time, The House That Jack Built. So let's have this conversation. Let's have this conversation. I've been waiting for this movie for a while. It did like the whole Sundance, Cannes thing. Half the people walked out, but a lot of people do it to Lars von Trier films. Like he's just known for that. He's that kind of director. Holy shit. So this movie, I'm not going to lie, it is long. It's like 2 hours and 30 minutes.
Yeah,
so
it's a long fucking movie.
And it's very wordy. My husband hates dialogue. He liked it, but he's like, this is why I like Mandy. There's like no dialogue in Mandy. And then in this one, he goes, very wordy, huh? But if you kind of get past that, because everything he says
has a point,
and it's very, I don't want to say biblical, maybe like artistic, or I don't know what the word I'm looking for is.
I've gotten into like, not arguments, but I've gotten into conversations with people online, and one of them, I'm not a literary, I don't read books a whole lot, but a lot of the things that they were referencing and talking about, they're saying that, this is really like Dante's Inferno.
Philosophical.
And in a way, in the way that hell is being portrayed,
right,
and the way that his incidents are being portrayed. And when I look at it, I feel like those incidents are like his rings of hell that he's going through,
right,
in order to get to there,
like the stages. And you even see that too, because kind of in certain scenes it's like a painting, especially towards the end when he is in that hell stage. I know it kind of sounds weird on what I'm talking about, but you kind of just have to watch it to understand what I'm saying. But it's like a visual painting, and it's so philosophical, and it is beautifully done, I think. But Matt Dillon, like, holy shit, who
knew, right?
He was so good in this. And what I also love about it too is you don't really get to know anyone else that much but him, and only how those other people are important to him. which they're not, which is great because
they're only important to him because they're important until to the point where they improve his killing,
right?
And they improved how he's just becoming a better killer, and you see that
throughout the film,
throughout the movie, throughout the incidents, as he's getting bolder and bolder,
and that's what they are to him, incidents. He even calls that, and you hear him talking to someone in the beginning and throughout the film, and you don't really understand who that is until the end, which I thought was kind of cool. But I love it too because it's like he refers it to as, this was my first incident, or this was my second incident, and as it's being edited and cut, there's a great part where he has like a red van, and he's standing outside of his red van with cue cards, like and he just, if you ever seen the In Excess video, I forgot what song it was, but he does that, and that totally reminded me, because he's just flipping and it has like 1 word or 2 words on it, he's just flipping it. So I thought that was really cool. But what I loved about it is in the beginning, he's got such OCD, and a lot of people were comparing this to American Psycho, but the only comparisons are that he's a serial killer and has OCD, but he loses his OCD towards the end. And
I don't think. Well, Bateman's not really OCD though, is he?
Huh?
He's not really OCD, is he?
Bateman? Yeah. Oh yeah, he is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh no, that's right. Because everything was neat in his apartment.
Those were the only comparisons. Otherwise, it's completely different.
No, I when someone said that to me, I was like, no, that's a lazy comparison. Yeah. Because you know what, this is a movie on its own merit.
Right.
And yeah, you can make that comparison because it's a serial killer, but honestly, if you really think about it, this movie is really its own movie.
And it is very heavy, but to me, there are funny parts, like. Just because of someone...
This is a really, like, if people can get past this and see it for what it is as art, they can see the humor in it.
And it definitely does have some humor in it.
There's a lot of humor in the movie. Yeah. And this is a black comedy.
It is, definitely. And it's... One thing I do argue, though, the people that walked out were saying this was so violent. I didn't think it was that violent at all.
Really? I thought it was... Well, what's violent to you?
That's what I'm saying, is because I feel so desensitized because I've seen so much. Yes, there were like brutal killings, but when he does kill the kids, they don't exactly show it.
Yeah, they do. No, they do.
Maybe in the version you saw.
Yeah, the version I saw, you saw that. He shoots
them, but you don't. They're like cut out. Like you see him shooting the shoulder.
No. The version I saw, the bullet went through that kid's fucking head.
Oh, so this one didn't. That was probably the edited or the non-edited.
And then the other one, where he shot when the kid was running, he shot the kid in the leg, and you saw it. It lingered, and then he shoots him again in the back when he's crawling.
But they don't show the face in the version I saw.
You see it. Like
so you saw the theater one.
I saw the unrated version, and I also told my lady too that is going to be the scene that gets cut because violence against children is going to be something that the MPAA is going to be against.
Yeah.
And I told her too, and she not argue with me, but she's like, I don't think so. I think they will show it.
Not so in the version I rented it on iTunes? Yeah, or Amazon, I think.
Yeah, it's on Prime right now.
Yeah.
The unrated version won't come out till January.
So I want to see that because I am curious because they do show him shooting, but like I said, they don't show the kid's face or it's like a shoulder or like a leg. They don't actually like.
No, you see both, and the way that it's shot, it lingers.
Okay, so that was edited then.
And so you actually see it. Boom.
Okay.
And it's like, and I remember sitting there thinking, they're not going to show it. They're not going to show it. When he pulls the trigger, you fucking see him like, fuck. And that was the moment that I talked about on my Facebook post. Like, there's a moment, like, right before that, there's this fucking huge fucking laugh, right?
What was the laugh?
I don't know. There's something happened that he said something, but there's a laugh, right?
Oh.
It was not funny, but people found it funny. So if you found it funny, then you would have laughed. But there's this moment where there's a laugh, and then a few moments later, when he starts hunting the family, and he kills that first kid, the whole entire fucking theater just
like went silent.
Just the mood just changed.
Yeah,
and you felt it. It's like, oh shit. And it got worse from there because then he was fucking with her the whole entire time, and then it got very uncomfortable.
And that's the thing too. It's like I mean, I've seen so much, so maybe it's the version I saw. It wasn't like, that's it. Like, I feel like that wasn't that big. You know, like, yes, he's killing kids, but you don't really...
You don't see it, but...
Yeah.
You know, when I said, like, I think I said this on maybe last week's show? Mm-hmm. Not last week, 2 weeks ago. Where I said, there's only a minute release cut. Mm-hmm. And I even said, like, that's going to be the scene. Yeah. That's going to be the incident.
Yeah.
Because, honestly, if you think about incident 5, not 5, 4.
Was that Simple?
With the girl? Yeah, Simple.
Her name's not Simple, but he calls her Simple, which is so hilarious.
Yeah, and that was funny. And then, I don't know if they showed that, though.
So they show her, so this is like a girl that he's dating.
Who's simple-minded.
Yeah, it's Elvis's granddaughter, by the way.
Oh, in real life?
Yeah, Riley...
Keough,
yeah. Yeah, her mom is Lisa Marie Presley.
Oh, okay.
But so you do see her topless, and you see him drawing on it. You don't actually see him cut it out though, unless the version you saw, you actually see her boobs being cut. He does kill her because this was a funny part. I thought there's a cop like downstairs outside, and he has her boob and like pins it to the windshield.
Wait, so that's all you saw?
Yeah, so you do see him drawing on her boobs. She's topless, and it's like really uncomfortable. But you don't actually see him cut it.
So it cuts right there after he's done drawing on her?
No, she's like, you're weird, and then she covers up and she tries to scream for help. And he goes, go on, scream.
No one helps.
No one helps. No one's gonna help you. So they do that, and then I forget what they show after that.
Does he make her choose the knife?
Yes. Yeah.
They
show that, but and you don't actually see him. Do you see
the knife go under her tit?
I don't think so. I don't remember.
So in the version I saw, she's sitting there and she's like, and he's trying to make her choose a knife. It's like, no. And then he grabs the biggest one and he grabs her head and he goes...
They show that.
And he just like, okay. Yeah. And so, okay, that's what you want. All right.
Yeah.
So he lifts up her shirt and he fucking slices her tit. He puts the knife right under her tit and then you see the cut happening.
So they didn't show that on the version I saw.
You didn't see that?
No.
So that was another...
But they do show the...
It's not funny, but they do show her. They do show him putting the boob on the cop car,
and also the wallet. He makes her other boob out of a wallet. So I thought that was hilarious, just because I like fucked up serial killer stuff. But they do show that part. But my favorite scene, and it's not even like violent at all. It's after his first incident, and you can see his OCD is so severe at this point. He thinks he's done killing. He gets in his van. And he tries to start the car, but he can't, because then his mind thinks, no, I left blood. I left blood behind. There's blood behind the painting. There's blood underneath
the chair.
There's blood underneath... So he goes back.
There's blood underneath the lamp.
Yeah, so he goes back, and he does this in the movie like 5 times.
Yeah.
Like and I love that, because as someone who knows family with OCD, you get it. Like, you've been there. You know how it is. So it's like I was cracking up at this part, because he just keeps going back and cleans, and it's not good enough. And then the cop comes, right? And then he like ties her body
to the back of his van.
And then this is my favorite. He plays David Bowie's Fame. David Bowie is one of my favorite artists. You hear Fame, and then he just fucking drives off, and the body's there, and the blood is like on the street. That was my favorite scene in the whole entire movie, and I wanted more of that, because just
I absolutely love the fact that he pulls up to his hiding spot, and then he looks and he sees the blood trails, like, fuck.
Yeah. And then it rains.
And then it just starts raining hard out of nowhere.
It cleans. It's washed away.
And you're just like, what the fuck?
Yeah. So I was dying of laughter at that point, and that it was hilarious. But so like I said, there are funny moments in this, but it is a heavy movie, and it is very wordy. But I feel like this was one of my favorite serial killer movies in a long time.
Better than Henry?
I like it more than Henry. Yeah, Henry to me... I mean, that was very brutal at the time it came out. But that's based on a real person.
Isn't it based off Geen?
No, Henry is Henry, I forget his last name, was a real serial killer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and he was gay with...
Otis?
Yeah. But so this was a great original serial killer movie. But after watching this, I'm like, fuck, Matt Dillon could have played Ted Bundy. Because he's got
the look.
He's just got that kind of vibe and look. But... yeah, so I really, really, really love this film. This is probably like this and Mandy, and what was the other one I really enjoyed? Mandy.
Yeah, I haven't seen Suspiria yet either.
So to clarify, I have not seen Suspiria. There's a lot of films I've missed that I have not seen. I have not seen Upgrade. I know you really liked Upgrade.
That was a fucking great movie. I love that movie. Like, I saw Upgrade, and then I saw Venom. I was like, holy shit. This is like the same fucking movie.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Was Upgrade like way more violent?
Oh, hell yeah. Oh, yeah. You actually see the dude's fucking head get split open.
Oh, shit. I like that actor, too, and he looks like Tom Hardy.
Right? Discount Tom Hardy.
So, yeah, my favorite three were The House That Jack Built, Mandy, and Hereditary. Those were, like, the ones that, like, all of these really kind of left an impact with me. And then the ones that I also liked were The Clove Hitch Killer, He's Out There, Strangers 2. So there's what the hell is this Vogue guy's problem? There's so much great content this year.
There was a lot of great horror movies. I don't understand why. I really don't get why fans are quick to clamor saying, "Oh, this is not a good year." Like, what the fuck do you want?
And we haven't even talked about TV yet.
Yeah.
There was so much amazing horror content on TV this year.
And it started off with Channel Zero.
Channel Zero, which is so underrated, and it's one of the best shows. One of the best shows I've seen. And it's so creepy. It's so violent. I'm behind on that, but...
So Butcher's Block aired in February.
I'm almost done with that.
Oh, you almost done with that one?
I'm almost done with
that. That was fucking freaky.
It's weird.
You thought No End House was weird.
I like No End House. I actually a lot of people didn't like that one.
I liked it, but I really liked the relationship between the two friends, and I thought that was the strongest.
Yeah.
You know, and I thought, and I also liked that the dad as an actor.
Oh, he's great.
Yeah, he's good in everything.
He was in the Zodiac.
He's the Zodiac.
But so Channel Zero is amazing.
And Rutger Hauer. Rutger Hauer is in Butcher's Block.
Right. He plays Peach. Old. Yeah, he looks so old. But Channel Zero is amazing. It's such a good show.
Then it ended the year with The Dream Door. I don't know if you've seen that.
No, I haven't seen that one.
And this one dealt with there's a door in my room, and I think I made a big mistake. And it's about a little girl who has an imaginary friend called Pretzel Jack.
Ooh,
and
creepy.
Pretzel Jack is kind of like a contortionist.
I hate those.
And the inspiration is that her dad took her to the circus and she saw a contortionist, and then that was the last memory that she had. Mm-hmm. And then she moves years later when she's an adult, she's married. She comes back to her old house, and there's a door in her basement.
Creepy.
A blue door that goes to nowhere, and they can't open it. For like the whole entire episode, they can't open it. And the dude and her husband's friend comes in the basement with a shotgun and starts fucking shooting it, and it doesn't do anything.
Wow.
And she walks up to it and opens it, and it's like, huh.
Oh, she can get in.
She can get in because it's her. You find out later that it's her door.
Oh, okay.
And everything that happens with Pretzel Jack, and Pretzel Jack is like her guardian. Mm-hmm. So Pretzel Jack made her feel safe when she was younger, and so that was her comforting. That was her comfort blanket. Mm-hmm. And anyone that gets in the way or angers her gets dealt with by Pretzel Jack. And Pretzel Jack looks fucking freaky as hell.
Anytime there's a weird contortionist or weird movements, that freaks me out.
He looks like the Joker with a mohawk and with a burgundy sweater.
Wow. But he moves all weird and stuff?
Yeah, they actually casted a real contortionist for that role.
That's cool.
So I was like, holy shit.
And all of Channel Zero's seasons are based on creepypasta stuff.
Yeah, they're all based on creepypasta short stories.
That's cool.
Which is gotta be hard to find people that own the properties to those.
Yeah. And then isn't there another one, or that was the last one?
Oh, that was the last one, and it ended in October.
Okay. So yeah, Channel Zero is amazing. I'm just gonna go down a list of ones because I feel like the horror TV world really kicked off this year. There's so much. So Riverdale, which I love. It's not purely horror, but there's so many horror elements. There's serial killers. There's like cults. It's based off the Archie comics, Riverdale, but it's dark. It's like Twin Peaks for teens.
Yeah.
And it's great. It has like the dads that are in it are from like the 90s, and even one of the women from Twin Peaks is in it. I really love Riverdale. The Haunting of Hill House, which that Vogue guy totally bashed and called it mediocre acting. This had such good acting and was so tense with the performances. I don't know what crack he was smoking, because yes, it's long. It's 10 episodes and it is very long and there's a lot of family drama, but the acting was so good. And you can just tell like these were done in very like long takes, like one take. And to do that and to accomplish all of that acting into that says something.
Yeah.
You know? I don't know if you've seen it.
I haven't seen it, but I heard a lot about it. And the thing is that, like, that's Mike Flanagan right there.
Yeah.
And he is someone that is, you know, that's done some really good movies. You know, Before I Wake, which was a pretty decent movie. Oculus. He also did Hush.
She's in it. He uses a lot of the same actors. So
yeah, because they're all family. And he's like, you know what? I'm just going to use these people. So I don't have to pay him a whole lot.
But, you know, there were scary... Not every episode had scary moments, but there were definitely creepy moments.
You know, this is along, like, you know, again, like, based on like, Hereditary, where a lot of the horror dealt with the family dynamic between all of them. Very
similar. And I also recommend, if you have lost someone recently, not to watch it, because they're dealing with a lot of death in the family. So I feel like Hereditary and this one was just so grieving, like just such a grieving process, but great acting. So I recommend that. One of my favorites, and I wasn't expecting to like it because I'm such a fan of the original, was The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina.
Everyone is really high on that.
I was really surprised.
And also, I think the Christmas special airs tomorrow.
It aired last week.
Oh,
I already saw it. Yeah.
Was it good?
It was okay. It didn't really add that much to the season.
I wonder if it was uncanon, like one of those uncanon episodes. You know, like you know how like the Treehouse of Horror episodes are all uncanon.
Yeah, I think it was because it didn't, like I said, it didn't add anything. It had like a Krampus character though, and it had I can't pronounce her name, but she would like eat children. Is it Gorilla? I can't pronounce it. Gorilla. I think it starts with a G.
Greta?
No. But it had her, and I thought that was cool because you never really see her.
Is it the witch that is supposed to eat Hansel and Gretel?
No. Let me find this because this is gonna bug me. Let me see. Let's see. Chilling Adventures. Did Bloody Disgusting have something on that?
No, not recently.
I saw an article though that had. Hold on. This is gonna. Chilling Adventures. I gotta figure it out.
The last thing they had, I think, was an editorial about the Christmas episode.
Okay. Let me see. So the Christmas episode was called Midwinter's Tale. And then, what was the person's name? It's based off of like a folklore. Let me see here. Yeah, I'm trying to find it. God, why am I not finding it right now? Gryla. Gryla. So, yeah, it's like a folklore thing, but I was like, God, what's the name? So it had her, and that was cool. But like I said, it didn't really add, like, you could miss this. And still, yeah. But it was fun because it did have, like, it takes place for Yule, so it was fun. But I'm glad it got renewed for another season. And
they already shot. Season 2 is going to be airing in April.
But I think they got another 2 seasons picked up, or renewed. So it's fun. It has a lot of horror elements, and it has a lot of like appreciation for horror, like Exorcist and a lot of like older horror movies. It's not purely teen. Like it focuses on the aunts, her cousin Ambrose. Only thing is, Salem doesn't talk, but I hope they get him to talk later on. That's my only thing about it.
It'd probably be the boyfriend.
Harvey?
They'd probably end up putting Harvey in Salem.
Oh, that would suck. Well, it's not her boyfriend anymore.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I haven't like sat and really watched it, but to me, I feel like that makes the most sense.
Yeah, I could see that. Well, so this is nothing, because I'm a big fan of the original Sabrina. This is nothing like that. This is based on the comic book Chilling Adventures, so they believe in Satan. So it's nothing like the original innocent Sabrina Spellman. But I don't know. I'm really like, it took me as a surprise because I actually really like it. Another one that was popular but fans are kind of hating now is Walking Dead because of the whole Rick Grimes thing. I don't know if you heard what they're doing.
Yeah, they're gonna give him a fucking movie. That's what they're doing.
But they killed him off the show. But
no, they didn't kill him off the show.
That's what they're saying. He's done with the show, but he's doing done. 3 movies.
He's done, but he is not dead.
What? I don't get it.
He is not dead.
And also Maggie too is done.
Yeah, she's done. She wants to do movies. She's fucking out.
So what's going on?
So with Grimes, so I read an article, not an article, but I read somewhere. I can't remember. I'll have to look it up. That Rick Grimes is gonna have a 3-picture deal
on AMC.
On AMC, whether it be theatrical or actual, videos.
On cable, yeah.
That's still to be determined. But he did not die.
But that's what they made it sound like. Like they killed him off the show, but like they're gonna.
They didn't pull the trigger. They didn't.
But doesn't he get?
Everyone tuned in to watch him die.
Yeah, and he didn't.
And then there was a moment where he was about to die.
Yeah.
I guess there's like a crash or something like that. I think it's a helicopter crash, and then it jumps 5 years after his death.
That's what I heard. Yeah.
But you don't see him dying, and then. Right after that episode aired, they said Rick Grimes gets a 3, or Andrew Lincoln gets a 3-movie deal.
So it sounds to me that because Rick Grimes isn't supposed to be away in the comics. I know it hasn't stuck to the comics 100% because they killed Carl. They killed Jesus or whatever his name is.
They canceled Fear the Walking Dead, and now it's probably like their best show.
So it sounds like Andrew Lincoln was like, I'm done doing TV. I want more money. That's what it sounds like. I haven't seen the new season, and I do like The Walking Dead.
That show would end if Norman Reedus said, I'm out.
If he says he's out, yeah.
Because
he's the lead now.
Because let's be real. Andrew Lincoln was not really the lead. Everyone tuned in to watch Daryl.
Yeah, because he's hot and all the girls like him and he's a badass. But
that too, but I remember the first few seasons, all the talk was about Daryl Dixon.
But Norman Reedus wasn't even in the first season.
No,
really.
But not the first season. But like I remember when it started picking up steam.
Yeah.
It was all Daryl
Dixon.
Daryl that. And Daryl this. Daryl that.
Yeah.
And so to me, I feel like if this. The fate of the show really lies in Norman Reedus' hands. If he says he wants more money or if he says I'm out, what are they going to do?
And he's like BFFs with Greg Nicotero. So, yeah.
So, yeah, we'll see what happens there.
I like I said, I haven't seen the new season. I'm really behind, but yeah.
I wouldn't tune in.
I know you're not, but
I wouldn't tune in.
So, okay, speaking of AMC, another horror show is The Terror. Have you seen that one?
I haven't seen that, but I heard it was like The Thing.
It's like The Thing, but you can't understand a freaking word on what they're saying.
It's
they're
just
British.
Because you don't understand Brits.
No, but it's like you can't. I gotta have like the
subtitles.
The captions, yeah, because I can't understand it. But it had kind of boring, but it did have cool elements, and it did get picked up for another season.
Castle Rock,
which
was a good idea.
It was a good idea. It just didn't pay off.
The ending just didn't stick the landing.
But the one with Sissy Spacek was cool. Like that. Like there. Don't get me wrong. Like there were cool episodes.
That fucking episode was a tearjerker. And it was that was arguably one of the best episodes of TV ever. Yeah. Like the best hour of TV I've ever seen.
And it does have good actors. I'm not saying don't watch it, but I was let down with the ending.
Yeah, I mean, it builds, but the payoff just doesn't necessarily hit.
One for kids that I liked, I believe it was shot earlier, but it wasn't released on Netflix, was Creeped Out.
I haven't seen that.
It's really cool. There's a lot of British episodes, but you can understand what they're saying. And then it also has like American episodes, but it's like a modern day Goosebumps Black Mirror for kids and teens. So that one I recommend. Black Mirror also. I love. Have you seen Black Mirror?
Which they're dropping a new. What rumor is actually they're dropping a new episode whether Christmas or next week.
Oh, that'd be cool. I really like Black Mirror. Which had amazing episodes. the Purge TV series, I know we briefly talked about it before. I didn't get to finish it, but I did see a couple episodes.
There's a lot of good shit in there, and you know how we talked about, like you were saying when we did the review, it's like I don't know if they'll be able to go as far as they did.
Yeah.
They went as far as they could pushed the fucking limits. Once the Purge starts happening, shit goes off the rails, and they push it as far as it can go.
So I only got to episode 2. And he's trying to find his sister who's in that like cult thing, like the sacrificial cult. So I didn't see a lot of violence, but I thought
wait till you get to the bus. Once the kids on the bus start coming in and then they run into that cult, holy shit,
it gets like intense.
It goes.
So do they push the envelope with violence, or because it's USA Network?
They make so the violence is not completely over the top. Okay. It is like grounded and fully realized, but the violence is just so fucking hard hitting that it just makes you wince. It's like holy shit. You see blood splatter. You see some of the knife penetrating the skin, stuff like that.
Okay.
So I really do think that. USA, they take chances.
They do.
And so, again, with the Sinner season 2. Season 2 was just as good, and if not as bolder as season 1.
I feel like the season 1, everybody was talking about that stabbing scene because it was very realistic.
Yeah.
So that was a good one. I really liked the Sinner. I haven't seen season 2 yet. But...
Season 2, I had that on my DVR, and I recently caught up.
Is it still Bill Pullman?
Yeah,
it's just not Jessica.
It's Bill Pullman. It just follows the detective now.
Oh, cool. So there's that, and then also FX had a lot. American Horror Story, Apocalypse.
Obviously, I haven't seen Apocalypse yet.
So they tied in Coven
and the Murder
House, but in an apocalyptic way. I've only seen like 3 or 4 episodes. I love him, the guy that plays like the Satan, or I don't know what he's supposed to be because I haven't
Antichrist.
seen it. Yeah, he's great. He was also in another FX, the Assassination of Gianni Versace. I know it's not horror, but it is about a serial killer. He was in that, and that was really good too. I really recommend that one because you get to see.
I tried to watch the first episode of that, but
the first one doesn't really get into it. But
I do like that actor though that they got to play
Andrew Cunanan.
Yeah,
it's really great. So after the first episode, it gets into him and his other killings. He won an award, I think. Such good performances. Like I said, it's not strictly horror, but he is a serial killer, and they do show murder. So that one I really recommend as well. Ones I haven't seen that I want to watch, but it's on Hulu and I don't have it, is Into the Dark and also Light as a Feather. I heard Light as a Feather.
I heard Light as a Feather was really good. It's that's another witch thing. It's kind of aimed. It's like Riverdale, well, not Riverdale, but it's kind of like light craft.
Oh, okay.
So it's like The Craft, but just lighter. Yeah.
Have you seen Into the Dark?
Yeah, I actually watched 2 of them. I watched The Body,
okay,
which is pretty much the short for The Body.
Oh, okay.
But it's directed by the same guy that directed the shorts, which is cool.
So each of those, Into the Dark, it's like, are they hour long?
Yeah, they're all hour long.
And it's on holidays?
So, yeah, as of now, they're all holidays, but the one on March takes place during Tree Day, which is kind of
Earth Day?
Yeah, which is kind of hilarious.
That's funny.
And so, yeah, I'm kind of looking forward to that. New Year's Eve is going to be a female centric.
Oh.
It's going to be all females, and it's directed by a female director, and it's about classmates getting together, and then secrets abound, and shit starts getting heated.
Shit.
And then all of a sudden, shit hits the fan. I haven't seen Polka yet. I want to see that because that looks fucking interesting.
A lot of people are talking about that.
I didn't like the Thanksgiving episode. Thanksgiving episode just wasn't. And it's Dermot Mulroney.
Oh, really?
Yeah, as the dad.
I like him.
I like him too. I don't know. I think it was mainly the daughter that kind of bugged me because I just didn't.
You didn't care for her?
I didn't care for her, honestly.
But is it like is it worth watching? Like
no, it is worth watching. I mean, The Body, though, is fucking hilarious. I really love that one. There's a really cool dynamic between the killer and someone else. And they have this really neat dynamic that I think they could have explored a little bit more.
Interesting. So those, like, I'm sure I missed some, but those were like the big chunk of horror content or horror related content. But like that was so many that I just listed. So there was, like I said earlier, there's so
it's just
much
like our
out
90s
there.
episode where there's just like so much to cover, you know?
But like you said earlier, there's something for everybody. So I guarantee you will find something that has grasped you this year with horror, you know? And I don't know, like the whole Vogue thing, it's like, I love what Fangoria did. It pissed them off when this Vogue article came out. So they wrote, "Oh, this has been such a bad year for fashion."
Yes.
I was like a fuck you. But it's true, because it's like this guy's background. He's a writer, but he doesn't really.
I don't even think he's a movie critic.
He's not. He's written like 2 novels, and then he writes for Vogue. But it's like, you're not into horror. Like,
he wrote 2 novels.
Yeah.
What about?
Like drama, just drama, not horror related.
So he's an author, and he thinks that he can
critique the horror
genre. So, you know, the horror genre is always going to be the redheaded stepchild.
It is.
Whether we like it or not. You know, it's always going to be shunned by the Academy.
Yeah.
It's always going to be shunned by the mainstream. But yet, as long as we have, like, you know, dedicated fans that show up to these screenings and show up to the TV, you know, there's going to be something. You know, also, we forgot to mention, this year saw the revival of Joe Bob fucking Briggs.
That's right.
You know?
Yeah.
We had the last drive-in in July.
And that, like, did so well that it crashed.
It crashed the fucking servers.
Yeah.
You know, Joe Bob broke the internet.
That says something.
You know, and then he did it again on Thanksgiving weekend.
Yeah.
And he's going to do it again tonight.
Oh, tonight at Christmas.
Yeah, very Joe Bob Christmas, doing Silent Night, Deadly Night.
And which is great. But that's the thing. I feel like horror has such a huge fan base. And it's got some of the most dedicated. It's such a hardcore fan base where it's like, they'll like fight with you through the thick and thin for something in this genre. They will. Like, you won't see that with any other genre. Sci-fi, yes, which gets shat on. But this, I don't know, like horror, like they're just so dedicated and they're so fierce about it, where it's like, and protective too, I think. Like, I know I'm really protective over certain things.
It's like, you know, it's like the difference, like a purist and like one of those other, and a fan. I feel like, I don't want to say that we're purists because we also like, you know, everything.
Right.
You know what I mean? But at the same time, it's like when you have like one of those purists out there trying to say, no, you need to keep horror and make it scary and just, you know, not let any element bleed into it, because then it just doesn't work.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you need other elements to come into it, so that way it can, you know, revitalize and reinvent the genre that you love.
Right. And get keep other people going into it.
And that's just a great way of having voices.
Right.
You know, we need new filmmakers, new screenwriters.
They need to give more independent filmmakers a chance,
You know, I was listening to an interview by Brad Fuller, who was on Shockwaves, and he was saying that the reason they gave the Nightmare on Elm Street to the guy they did...
The remake one?
Yeah, the remake.
He was a music video director.
Yeah, the reason they gave it to him is because he separated himself from the material.
Yeah.
And when they asked him, why not just give it to another genre director, it was because... like, those genre directors are too close to the material, so they wouldn't be objective.
That's true.
In order to, you know, make the best movie possible, which I disagree to a point, because I feel like if you had a horror director directing like a property like that, they're gonna do their damnedest to bring a fucking good movie out of that.
Yeah,
it's not the same thing as if you would have like someone who's a big fan of Batman,
right?
And trying to do a Batman movie, but then when they're trying to do a Batman movie, they're trying to do fan service. They're not trying to bring the best out of Batman.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's tough, you know? Like, thank God for theaters like Alamo Drafthouse or independent theaters, because they're the ones that show a lot of these art house or hard to find horror movies, you know? And we got to keep it going. But the thing is, it's like, you got to have it more than just a day. You know, like the house that Jack built, they only showed that unedited version or unrated for one night, and it's like, how can you make that work? So they do need to make it easier. They need to make it more
and they almost got almost got in trouble for that too, because they're like, well, you did not approve this unrated cut to the MPAA, so we're gonna try to sue you. Like, well, no, technically we already gave you our cut.
Yeah.
And so we're just going to release our cut 3 weeks prior to the release. So it doesn't break any rules.
They worked their way around that. That's tricky.
That's really they found a loophole and they're like, okay, this is what we're going to do.
That's smart though.
Yeah. You know? And I wish more filmmakers took that chance.
Yeah, I know. But that's why like I am grateful for Amazon and
Shudder.
iTunes and Shudder because they do show and now, by the way, all these movies I've mentioned were American. There was a lot of great foreign horror as well that I have not mentioned. Like Terrified, I still need to see. I know that
I heard that was a good one.
I know they're gonna
Ghost Stories.
That. I did see Ghost Stories.
I heard that was a really good one.
It's okay.
Ghostland, Revenge.
Yeah, Revenge. So there were a lot of foreign stuff that was great, and foreign TV
Loose
too. Yeah.
I really want to see Blew My Mind though.
Yeah.
I really want to see that movie because that looks really fucking interesting.
Yeah. But are you excited for what horror?
What am I looking for?
Yeah. Is there any? I feel like this is just my prediction. Because of what has come out, but I do feel like the theme for next year is remakes. You got Pet Sematary, you have Jacob's Ladder, you've got
that's already in production?
Yeah. It's the guy from I don't remember his name. Shit, what's his name? But the whole cast and everything, it's like going that way, but it's gonna be released next year that they're saying.
Huh.
So yeah, Pet Sematary, the next It Chapter 2, Jacob's Ladder. There's something else that they're remaking. What was it? There was another remake.
You thinking about It?
No, let me see. Chucky.
Chucky. Oh yeah. Oh, which the TV series is still underway and will still be airing. So
before the movie, or
Don Mancini's in a race against time. I'll tell you that right now.
Is Brad Dourif doing the voice?
Yeah, he's still doing the voice.
But what about for the movie?
Well, the movie they got someone else.
What the?
Yeah.
So that's my prediction next year. I feel like it is a year of remakes.
You know, I haven't looked close enough at the horror slate for next year, but the only ones I can really say for certain, like horror wise, is It 2 and Happy Death Day 2.
Oh yeah, that's coming out Valentine's Day.
That's coming out. Happy Death Day is coming out Valentine's Day weekend. And then It 2 is going to come out the same... Is going to try to come out the same day as it released 2 years ago.
September, right? Yeah. One I'm really looking forward to... It's not horror... There's horror elements, but it's Lords of Chaos that finally got a release date for February. So excited. That has been on my list for such a long time. So I'm really looking forward to that one. Happy Death Day, I'll go see it just because, like...
Well, we're going to have to go see it because that's going to be a business trip.
If we're seeing that, a business trip. If we're seeing that, you have to watch Valentine then.
No, I mean, that was agreed upon. We had to do... We were doing Valentine, remember? Okay. But we were doing Valentine and My Bloody Valentine.
And X-Ray, which not a lot of people have seen.
X-Ray.
And 80s. There's two names.
Where is that?
I saw a really horrible version on YouTube.
Is it on Prime?
No, it's super hard to find. It also goes by another title, I think, Hospital Massacre.
Hospital Massacre?
Or X.
Oh, wait a minute. Yeah.
It has the Playboy Hugh Hefner's bunny. What was her name? It was like one of his first girlfriends. She's in it.
Wait, is this new or
no,
old?
This is 80s. 80s? This was in the 80s.
I was going to say Holly Madison, but no, that's like 2000.
Yeah, her name was Bunny. She was a brunette. She was like a famous Playboy mom, but she's in it. And it is technically a Valentine's Day horror film.
Huh.
But
okay. Yeah. I'm going to have to look that up. But as far as we know is February, we already got our episodes already lined up for February.
Yeah.
But if I can't do that, we're going to have to do Valentine on Bloody Valentine.
Okay.
But it's got to be the original, not the remake.
Yeah. Jesus Christ.
Unless you want to sit through the remake again.
No. Oh my God.
I mean, it's not that bad.
It was pretty bad. The acting was pretty bad. And
we'll
get into that in that episode.
The CW dialogue.
Yeah. Oh my God. We'll get into that though. But yeah, so I mean, I hope there are a lot of films I haven't heard about that I'm excited. I mean, it's the future, right? But let's hope 2019 is a good year for horror as well. And the world and the planet.
Right. Let's keep horror on television where it belongs.
Yeah, I know.
All right. So what are you looking forward to for our endeavor? Like, what do you want to change next year?
I'm looking forward to getting to see if we can get other people, mixing it up. What I also think would be cool. I didn't talk about this earlier, but I think it'd be cool to visit local filming locations of horror. I just like doing that for fun, and I've done that in the past, but I never got to record it. Mm-hmm. So I think that might be a cool thing to do because we have so much.
Do like a tour guide or something like that.
Yeah, go to locations. I know you can't go to like Scream was up here in Healdsburg. I know that the houses are a little hard, but you could go to the town square. So there's things to make it work. The Phantasm House is in Oakland. I haven't been there. Even where we are, a lot of Hitchcock stuff was shot. So I feel like that would be a fun thing to do too. So maybe that's something we could do. I don't know when we're going to film, but I'm looking forward to that. And I'm just looking forward to discussing horror in general. I mean, it's my favorite genre and I love it. So, and I'll defend it to death.
I know. It's this Vogue guy I don't know.
He totally shat on it,
I think he's not a horror fan. I think he doesn't get it. He's one of those outside people that goes to he sees the mag and he considers that a horror movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Doesn't really understand the concept.
No.
As for me, yeah, I agree with everything you say. I am looking forward to getting guests here, whether through Skype or in person. That's going to be fun. Oh, yeah. Are we going to do the thing about the emails? About people chiming in or something like that on our show?
I would like people to do that. I mean, I don't know if we could do it all the time. We could do a test thing and see how it goes. But I know because people have different schedules, so that might be hard to do. Or they can record a question in advance.
Yeah, that's what I was asking. Yeah,
that might work a little bit better. Yeah, I mean that's a possibility. Okay. I'm open to just new things, new creativity.
Yeah, we're trying to, not only help make this show better, but we're trying to make this listening experience and much more of an experience for you when you're listening. So you're in on the conversation rather than just listening to the conversation.
For sure.
All right. Well, that is it. That wraps up Bump in the Night for 2018.
2018.
Yay! And I am your host, the Boogeyman, with my co-host
Ginger Snap Elysa.
And we will see you next year.
All right. Have a happy New Year, everybody, and a happy Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Bye.
Stay scary.